Good morning, good morning. It's Magical Monday, Magical Monday. Don't know if I like the way this camera's looking today. Magical Monday. All right, hello, Magical Mamas. How are you today? How's your Monday going? Does it feel like Monday? Does it feel magical? Does it feel like a Monday? Good morning, good morning. Hello. If you're hopping on, please comment, say hi, put like, whatever you need to do. Good morning, Sammy. Make sure I can see you because I love to see you. I love to hear from you. What is your Monday looking, feeling, doing today? Good morning, Lonice. Good morning, Raven. Yay! Good morning, ladies. Oh, I'm so excited to see you. Don't you love this? I know this weather. We've been getting tons of like thunder and rain and all sorts of magic. I woke up and I went, oh, is that a plane? No, it's thunder. Yay! I don't know if you could see. I don't know if the phone is going to let you. No, it's just kind of all white, but it's beautiful. There's big old giant fluffy clouds. Good morning, good morning. It's so fun. It makes me like I stopped this morning and I was doing my yoga in the living room and I had Shanda. I watch Shanda Sumter sometimes live while I'm doing yoga so I can do like a twofer because I don't have a lot of time, you know? And so I was doing both and I paused both because I heard it starting to rain. So I swooped up Skyan, who was like snuggled in my lap while I'm doing yoga and watching Shanda, multitasking to the bazillionth, right? And I run outside to my little side porch and just like, oh, this is being present, right? So often we're like trying to run and get everything done in our Mondays, and yet what better opportunity to just like stop and go, oh, magic falling from the sky, right? All right. Thank you. Yay, yay, yay. All right. So this morning's card is empower. And I love this picture. We were in the sequoias and my son climbed onto this rock and like, yay, raised his hands up, and Skyan could just care less. But he was just so, and it was like the perfect picture for empower. And really this card is all about being empowered enough to imitate or to model empowerment for our kids and to be our radiant lights and to be, you know, our authentic selves and to not care about people pleasing, right? To be empowered enough to be who we truly are and are meant to be in this world. And really like creating space to dive deep into what our desires are, to dive deep into who and what we are and what we long to be. And really, in the Waldorf world, if you're from the unschooling world, which is I'm also a part of, if you're from just the homeschooling world, there is a type of homeschooling called Waldorf. And it was made by a man named Rudolf Steiner. And he really believed that up until the age of 7, children learn everything they know through imitation. And so it is up to us as their, you know, in simplicity parenting, he says up until 7, we are the gardeners. We are literally planting the seeds in our children. And we like plant them where we want them. And it's not that we can control how they grow. Just as a gardener, we can trim and water and nourish and give, but we cannot control how much fruit they produce. We cannot control how big they get. We cannot control if something bad happens to them, like a caterpillar takes a bite out of their leaf, right? But we can try to catch the caterpillars and remove them. But so just like in Waldorf education and just like in Simplicity Parenting, if you haven't read that book, it's a great book. They both talk about before the age of 7 and up until the age of 7, imitation is the main way that children learn. So what are they watching in the media that they're imitating? What are they hearing you and your husband talk about? Bills, finances, stress, trust issues, intimacy, they're imitating all of these things. Whether you see it or not, they are imitating the way that we are representing ourselves. Do you often have somebody say something to you and you just step back and let them kind of abuse you or walk all over you? You will notice your children imitate this same thing. And it's no wonder that bullying is such a huge aspect of our school systems. And thank God it's finally being noticed, right? Thank goodness somebody's finally saying, let's be aware of what's going on. But more importantly, how about we be aware of what we're imitating? How about we be aware of how we're actually demonstrating how to be empowered individuals, whether it's an empowered mom, an empowered dad, an empowered world, right? And empowerment does not mean that we dominate. Being empowered simply means that we can stand firm in our own beliefs, opinions, and knowings without being taken over, right? I mean, empowerment is not about what I say is right, and because I said it, that's how it's going to be. So because of that, we often have this mixed up thing of like, I can't be empowered, then I'm going to dominate and control everybody. But really, empowerment is so much more about stepping into who we are without having to defend, without having to make excuses, without having to feel like we have to justify, right? Empowerment is, this is what I do, this is who I am, thank you very much. And when somebody tries to give you the gift of judgment or opinion or condemnation or criticism, you simply say, I'm not willing to receive those gifts right now. Thank you very much. You may keep them. You may keep your judgment. You may keep your opinions to yourself. And you can do this from an empowered place, just like him on the top of that rock. You can do this, like, yes, I am me. I am who I am, so thank you. I do not need your opinion of who I am. And this will help. So often people go, I'm so scared of being myself or stepping into who I am, and I might lose some people or I might make some people angry. That's their gift. You don't have to accept it. Do you really want these people in your life who are trying to give you the gift of squashing who you are? And sometimes it is family. And sometimes you have to just take a step away. And it doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you don't honor them. It means that you're honoring yourself to give yourself some space while you really come out of your own shell and become empowered enough to create who you are. I actually have an entire program all about becoming empowered, which is one direction that you can go if you would like to do mentoring and healing with me. I've got quite a few different directions, and based on what aspects of life you need support and help with, discovering your rhythm is just one aspect of what we're doing. Good morning, Nancy! But there's also, I have an entire empowerment program. And it's so vital and so important to really learn how to step into ourselves, to learn how to step into being our unique, empowered selves. Because while our children are learning how to stay, right? I feel like the women in this tribe are really making a conscious effort of letting their children stay and not get modeled or washed out of their magical selves, right? We really want to uphold who our children are. And at the same time, we have to remember, we have to reintegrate our magic into our own lives so that we can actually step into who we are and wash away or peel away all the layers that we've put on of inauthenticity, trying to just stay afloat, right? Just trying to stay in the moment. Did you guys just see those two ravens? Pew, pew, right overhead. I love that. I love being outside because then the whole magical forest and all of its creatures can kind of come into play. I love when I'm saying something and it's like, pew, Empowerment. I mean, talk about the raven. They are annoying. Right? I mean, what if the raven didn't use his voice? My gosh. But he has his voice. Caw! Caw! He has his authentic, beautiful, magical voice. And you know him through his voice. And yet if he was silent, worried that all the other birds in the forest didn't like his voice and he couldn't sing and say his messages, who would he be? Nobody would know, right? So the birds of the air do not worry about who they are, but we as humans have a very special voice. We have thoughts. We create, we co-create, we create our realities through our thoughts. We are the only creatures that do this, okay? This is powerful. We are the only creatures in the world who have thoughts that create and co-create our realities. If we are not empowered enough and feel worthy enough to do this, we will continue to be the victim. We will continue to allow ourselves to be. We will blame the outside world for our circumstances until we realize that it is us that is actually creating what it is and who we are. If we don't step up to the plate, we're never going to get to where we actually desire to be. If we never dream big enough to actually have a desire, then we're losing out on the most fundamental aspect that make us human, which is our thoughts, which is co-creating our lives that we actually want to be living. So, empowerment. Empower. How can we empower ourselves to fully awaken and be and create who it is that we desire to be? Because ultimately, when we decide who it is that we want to be, we kind of have a roller coaster ride at first, right? We go, I'm this. Oh, no, that doesn't actually work. I am this. No, okay, I might be part of that, right? Unpeeling the layers of who we are takes time. And while we're doing that, oftentimes we're like, I'm stuck in this like constant unraveling space, right? And I think that is the uncomfortableness of change, that constant space and feeling that we are literally being unraveled. Because in the wild, you're never comfortable. You're wild. You are wild. Imagine, we often think of animals being free. And yes, they are, but it's not comfortable. And this can get misstrewn. So I don't want us to mistake like, oh, I don't really want freedom because it's not comfortable, but that's not what I'm saying. Because when we're really, truly free, we're living in the moment. We're not thinking about all the things that we're not doing, or we're not worrying about all the things that we don't get to accomplish, right? But just like a snake, snakes are often feared in the wild, right? But if they're not venomous, or even if they are, at any time a bird can come down and grab that snake. They're in constant peril. It's not like being an animal and being free is just like utopia. And I often think that we think of life that way. Once I'm free, once I'm doing what I love to do, then I'm free and there's no more. But life is meant to be this like push and pull of who we are so we can grow and become stronger. We can be empowered knowing who we are. It's not meant for us to get to this plateau and get to the top, right? I'm at the top. I know who I am. Now I just be. We have to learn how to be while being free, while being wild, while being our authentic selves, because life will continue to happen. There will always be hurricanes and earthquakes and fires. And we have to learn how to be our authentic selves within this world, not in a bubble. We don't need to be in a bubble. We don't need to shield ourselves from all of this stuff going, oh, it's too much, the outside world, I can't take it, blame, 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 I'm the victim. We don't want to be there anymore. We want to step into who we are and say, no matter what happens, I am powerful enough to be me. In this situation, I don't have to freak out. I don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. I don't have to go a safe route because everybody wants me to. I can throw it all in and do what I truly desire to do because that's who I am. Right? And I know that most of the women in this group are that way. You are this way, which is why you're here, right? Good morning, Karen. If we allow ourselves to be the empowered, amazing, magical, free, wild women that we truly are, we will change our homes. And when we do that, we will change the world. Because our homes are a representation, they are a microcosm of the entire universe. What happens in our homes, the dynamic that happens there, the chaos that happens there, is reflected out in the world. And when we change our homes to be homes of freedom and wildness and peace and being truly who we are, we begin to change the macrocosm through our example, and things shift in a way that we never thought possible, right? Because I never, ever, ever, ever thought in my wildest dreams that my journey of practicing what I preach and doing things that are uncomfortable would lead me here inside of this Facebook realm, doing Facebook Lives every morning, having women that I get to mentor, doing a healing journey, really looking at the next big step of holding like retreats and gatherings and possibly buying big property to do that on. And I never would have imagined that this would pull into the bigger picture of having a tribe of women that I can say that I truly belong to, right? Having a sisterhood of women that I go, wow, I've got almost 1,000 women who can actually relate to what I say. And if they don't quite understand it, at least they're willing to open up their minds and think of the possibilities, and they identify themselves as magical women in this world. That is powerful, right? Karen, oh my God, I'm reading Women Who Run with Wolves right now. Yes, yes. We have got to step up. We have got to, and Monday's the perfect day to do it. Magical Monday, do it, right? Let's just do it. Let's sing when we want to sing. Let's dance when we want to dance. Let's be who we are, because it is today. It is this moment that we have. If we don't do it today, when will we do it? If we don't do it now, how can we ever expect our children to? How can we ever expect our spouses to? How can we ever think that if we aren't willing to be who we are and what we need to be in this world, we have to never have another judgment or expectation or desire for anybody else to change until we can actually follow through with it and do it ourselves. Woo! Can I get an amen? That was your Monday morning gospel, right? So as we are, those around us will begin to be too. Those around us will be a representation we will begin to see, because inward, inside of us, is simply a reflection. The outside is just reflecting what's inside of us. So as we really begin to shine from the inside, as we really begin to emanate from the inside, the outside world will reflect that, and you will see it and you will say, holy, right? You will say, oh my God, oh my goodness gracious, the world is changing and it's magical and it's super fucking scary, right? But that's how you will know. That's how you will know you are on to something big, which is simply being you. being your authentic self is not comfortable, because you know what? The world doesn't want us to be our authentic selves. The world wants us to be in line so that we can do whatever it is that we're supposed to do. And as we shift and as we change and as we create ourselves and step into our empowered, beautiful selves, we will shine brighter, and the world will shine brighter with us. So, on that note, I am going to leave you to your Monday. Please, please, please share with me, share here. Do you feel empowered? Do you feel, where are you in this mix? Do you feel like you have so much that you need to work on? Do you feel like you have that? Are you on the verge of it? Are you working towards it? How can I support you more in this? How can we create more to become aligned together? Do you need more physical gatherings? I will create them. You know what I mean? It's like, what do we need in order to create a magical world together? So, Nancy, I need to be empowered. Family members disappeared because I ended up living in my dad's and my home. I still need to move to dad's side, but it's hard alone. Memories, his smell and spirit, I feel, is still there. I've been alone clearing dad's things, house, and I need to step up and start. So, Nancy, a lot of what is going on is the fact that you're trying to find who you are now. And you're doing this by yourself, which can be done. But I will tell you that I did it by myself, and it took me over 5 years of struggle, of trying. So if there's any way at all that you can get support, either from me or another coach or another mentor, there is ways of doing things to help lift you up, right? To give you like the roadmap. And yes, you can find lots of stuff out there for free, but I truly think that that is the biggest problem with the mentoring coaching world, is the fact that there is so much information, there is so much free videos and things out there, and yet none of us are exactly the same. You cannot watch one of my videos and get all the facts for your life, because you are an individual, you're unique. And that's where actually having somebody, that's what therapy was all about. And that's where I started. I have my degree in psychology, and yet it wasn't enough. There wasn't a deeper aspect in therapy. I needed the spiritual. I needed the physical. And then so I went into massage therapy, and there wasn't enough, right? And so it's like I had the psychology, I had the body work, and then I needed the spiritual aspect to blend it all together. So it really is body, mind, and spirit, the healing that has to be done. Because you can have one piece and it's not quite enough. You can have another piece and it's not quite enough. You will only get so far, right? You started my rhythm to wake up and start my mornings with joy instead of tears. Yes. And that is awakening. What do you want your life to look like, right? What do you want your life to be? We get to choose. And if we're not choosing, guess what? The world chooses for us. And, the media chooses for us. Do you want the media and society and the outside world to influence you? Or do you want to influence the world, society, your home? It's your choice. It's your choice. All right, blessings to all of you. Have such a magical Monday. Let me know where you are, what's going on in your life, and let's keep this going. Post if you need to post in the Facebook group. Share if you need to share. Let it out. Who are you? Rawr, right? Be you. I love you. Have such a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.